Hello, everybody, and welcome to BC Buckets. I'm Matthew Brune. Joining me once again is Colin Mitchell. Colin, today we have Kevin McCullar, the star from Kansas. 5 years in college, over 23 years old. Spent 3 years at Texas Tech, 2 years at Kansas. 26 games this past year, 34 minutes per game, 18 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 2.5 turnovers, 45% shooting, 33% from three. Did get hurt last year and then chose to, I don't want to say chose to because that was a whole incident, but basically didn't play for the last like month of the season, basically, which, frustrated some Kansas fans and Bill Self and whatnot. But regardless, here he is in the draft. Obviously an old player, known for his defense primarily, but people are starting to buy the offense more and more and more as time goes on here. Where are you at with Kevin McCullar?
Kevin McCullar to me is a really, really great college player, but he doesn't give me the NBA player prospect vibes.
He doesn't pass the vibe test, I
Well,
feel.
like when you watch him, like you go, that's like when I watched him, I was like, this is a really great college basketball player, which he was. But at no point was I ever believing in an NBA upside. And it's I'm trying not to. I mean, it's nothing against really his game. It's just more so just he doesn't do anything great or elite, and I don't see anything that projects to be great or elite. So we'll talk about shooting, for example. 4 seasons,
Yeah.
5 seasons. First 4 seasons, he shot 29% from three, shot 33% this last year, but his shot doesn't really pass the eye test. Has this really weird hitch at the top,
Yeah, I hate
and
it.
I don't like it either.
It takes a
And
long time to wind up.
long
Yeah.
time, and to me, for a player like him, who we kind of already know what he is, if he's going to play defense, he's going to need that shot to be really good, and I don't think that shot's going to be really good at the NBA level. And he's not going to have the ball in his hands to play make like he has. And he averaged how many assists? Four assists. So that was cool. But he's never going to be anything more than a connecting passer in the NBA. And I mean, that's just where I see him. It's just he does a lot of really good things well, does great things at the college basketball level, but there's nothing where I go, oh, that's going to get way better for the NBA.
Yeah. The biggest strength, like I said, a lot of people hold on to is the defense.
Yep.
And in theory, like I agree. Like I see the defense in college, and I think he is a good defender. I think he's real tough at the point of attack and can really hold his own there. I like his frame. He's 6'9" wingspan, which is good. So I see that. But like you said, when I watch him, and I watch, we watch a lot of college basketball, he doesn't give you the feel. Like I was never watching him like, oh man, can't wait to scout this guy as an NBA prospect.
Yeah.
It felt like, okay, he's 23 years old and he's trying to help Kansas win this game against Baylor on the road. And that's just like what he is. I will be surprised. Like I'm not going to have him top 30 on my board. A lot people are starting to put him top 30 on their board. I think you have to really buy the shot if that you're going to do that. And some people are. Um, I think I've made this point before. If you are over 23 years old, honestly, if you're over 22 years old, if you're over 23 years old, you are what you are at this point. And I said the similar thing about with Jamal Shed when we talked about his shooting. It's like you've had 4 years
Yeah.
to get your shooting right. He's had 5 years to get his shooting right. And this is the best he could do is 33%. And honestly, I thought it was on like not terrible looks. Like he played off Hunter Dickinson. Like he played with DeJuan Harris, who are some good creators. Like he wasn't taking a bunch of step back threes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And to your point, Jamal Shed at least has a jumper that looks pretty nice.
Yeah. So it's like, um, I think he's I'm trying to think of other strengths. Like I think he's a good finisher. He's not a good like explosive dunker, but
Yeah.
he's tough. Like I said, I think toughness is the word. Like when you talk about Kevin McCullar, like he's just really tough.
Well, that's what you say about really great college basketball players. And
Yeah.
toughness isn't going to get you anywhere in the NBA, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, it accounts for something, but it's not going to make up for a lack of like
It's
it's not going to make up for your shooting. It's not going to make up for your playmaking. It's not going to make up for your handle because all that stuff's going to get exploited. Toughness toughness is the baseline for the NBA. Everyone's tough in the NBA,
yeah.
and there's nothing that he does exceptionally well where I'm like, oh yeah, I can buy this guy in the NBA.
I'm trying to compare him in my head to Tristan Da Silva, and I know they're a little bit different players, but like Da Silva's game is so much smoother and like seems more translatable to the NBA. Like, and then also I think he's a much better shooter. Just to start off, rip like a better shooter, taller. So it's like
That's an interesting comp, actually.
both are 23 years old, but McCullar seems a lot more like a college player than De Silva does. When I watched De Silva, it did feel like I was watching an NBA player.
Yeah, and I think when you watch De Silva, you just think you think he's NBA ready just because he's so much more polished. Like when you watch him, you go, I'm watching a guy that looks like an NBA player.
Yeah. Like it
Yeah.
looks like De Silva can help a team in the
Yeah.
league, like right
Yeah.
now. McCullar, in theory, can, but I'm not betting on him being able to hit 3 NBA threes at a consistent clip or create for himself at a consistent rate, like at all right now.
Yeah.
So are the people that have him top 25, I want to be like, are you betting on him improving more than what he is right now? And if you are, I don't want to make that bet.
Yeah. No,
Like
I
that's
completely
where
agree.
I'm at with
I
him.
completely agree because he's gonna have to change the type of player he is. I mean, he's used to having the ball in his hands more. This number's got to be wrong for what I have written down. 42% usage percentage. What's his usage rate? Do you have his usage
It's
written
probably
down?
high as hell. Wait, what did you have it at?
Way too high. It's not 42.
Let's see. Kansas. Here we are. Usage rates. No, it's not that high. 27 though. 27 still very high.
Yeah, so 20. I mean, it's not even going to sniff that in the NBA,
No.
and under any circumstance, no matter how good he gets. So, yeah, I mean, that's just kind of where he's at. And I think, like you said, he's 23 years old. You know what he is at this point, and any improvement's not going to make a big enough a difference to take that step.
Comparisons, player comps.
I had trouble with comps. I just kind of threw out Nick Batum. So
okay, I got 2. 1, Kent Bazemore.
That's interesting. Kent Bazemore is really interesting, actually.
Good. And then I have a ceiling, Dillon Brooks.
Dillon Brooks. That's
like tough defender. Like can kind of has like a little funky jump shot, but can kind of shoot a little bit. And
I actually really like the Dillon Brooks comp.
There you go.
I don't think that works out, but I really like the Dillon.
We got one on the board.
That might be one of your best comps for this draft.
Thank you.
Kevin McCullar, Dillon Brooks.
Thank you. But yeah, that's all I got for McCullar. I'm at the end of the day, he's on my board. He's probably gonna end up between 35 and 40.
Yeah, same for me, probably.
So, yeah, well, that's all we got for y'all today. Hope you enjoyed the show, and leave us a like, comment, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will talk to y'all later.